everyone, it's me, Carol from Practical Mystic, and I thought I would come on today and try to do a short video as we wind down 2021. Challenging, that's, to say the least about 2021, but if we look at the silver lining, possibly we were taken out of our comfort zone and offered an opportunity for healing and change as we were dealing with what was happening to us individually and collectively, affecting all aspects of our lives, emotional, our physical, our mental, where we lived, where we worked, right down to the air that we were breathing. So being into metaphysics, you could say that we had all four elements being aspected, being brought to us in a new light, in a new way to have to deal with them. The other thing that I wanted to kind of talk to you about today is that as we come to the end of 2021, let's remember what that vibration held to again gain more insight and understanding. 2021 vibrated under a universal year, number 5. 5 is the number of man. And if we look at it, it's basically the 5-pointed star where we have the head and the 2 extremities of the arms, the 2 extremities of the feet making up that 5-pointed star, hence the number 5, hence the number of man. Man in 2021 has been transformed, basically. The other thing that's very fascinating is if we look at the tarot, we know that the number 5 is the Hierophant. Now the Hierophant is the bridge between God and man. And I think what occurred in 2021 is what that relationship was for us. Maybe during these difficult, challenging times, the number 5 talks about adaptation. It talks about rapid changes, uncertainty. We may have done what the Hierophant represents and reconnected back with the traditional church, traditional religion, and found comfort, guidance, solace in that. Or we may have backed away and during this time period realized it didn't offer everything that it used to, or because of the other influences that are happening and have been happening in 2021 with Uranus and Neptune and Pluto, things have changed form, have come to light, have been revealed. Where deception lied, that veil has now been lifted. And what we as individuals may have considered to be the doctrine that we held to and used and found comfort with is no longer. The Hierophant also represents the spiritual divinity within us. So that relationship with God and yourself may have also changed during this year of the Hierophant, which is the number 5 of 2021. So with all that said, this is a wonderful opportunity to continue to see and to focus on those changes that have happened to us consciously and unconsciously as we journeyed and traveled and adopted and conformed and readjusted and redefined who we are and where we're going. 2021 is going to be winding down, yet Pluto is not through with us. Astrologically, there's still additional transformation that is going on and will continue. I would say let's take advantage of that energy. Let's tap into that. Let's use this. If we have any trepidations or fears, realize that it's better to go with the flow, and that Pluto ultimately is bringing about the best within you, and releasing that fear to help us kind of put those finishing touches in our journey of 2021. 2022 is going to be all about relationships. And very quickly, I would say it's about relationships not only with other people, because that's the first thing we think about is my relationship to other people. But it's much broader than that. It's my relationship with the world, because I've been transformed. The world has been transformed. And now I need to look at how that relationship will take effect, influence me as I go forward. Now, the most important relationship we will ever have in this lifetime is the relationship we have with ourselves. And I'd like to put a little bit of an analogy here. The relationship I have with me, when I flip it over, really reflects and becomes a we. But the W is a double U. And what I mean by that is we are dual in nature. We have a personality self and we have a soul self. And as we travel the spiritual path, we are attempting to allow the soul to be lifted and to have more of a say, more of a, let's say, empowering in our lives than the personality. Another way we can look at our dual nature is what psychologist Carl Jung talked about, as far as we have within us the anima and the animus. In Taoism, we have the yin and the yang, and basically it has to do with the conscious and the unconscious, also looked at as the positive and the negative, and the male and the female. But that dualism within us, as we are growing, adapting, needs to unite. The we, the W, means that our higher self, our soul, and our lower self, our personality self, that we use on an everyday basis, and we can also call it the ego. And it is that vehicle, that humanness that it has to travel through, has an opportunity in 2022 to take one more step on that ladder of growth and to become integrated. Now, granted, it takes a lifetime to become illuminated, where the soul and the personality have now united and the soul takes precedence. That takes a lot of work, that takes a lot of lifetimes. But that self-realization, as we become to know who we really are, what is our relationship with us? What do I value now? Where do I want to place my energy? What has been revealed in me in the unconscious as I've explored myself much deeper in 2021? Do I want to release, exemplify, maybe let go, maybe improve? Those are all going to be very instrumental in the year 2022. Certainly, I hope to do a video on that and talk more extensively on it, but I guess my message today is we have a month and a half, a little over a month and a half, as we wind down the aspects of what the 5 has brought to us. Let's work with what is ahead. Let's go ahead and roll up our sleeves and get that work done. That 5 is challenging us to take that bridge of uniting our higher self with that personality self. Let's just say the God and us reuniting in a way that is non-judgmental, is non-discriminatory, that comes from a place of love in commonality, that we are each here in this lifetime to be the best that we can. The sages say, and I wanted to make sure that I read it accurately, but the great sages say that the destiny of man is in his own soul. So, let's plan our destiny. Let's reunite who we are by looking at all of our relationships with ourselves, one another, and everything else out there. Thanks everyone for joining me today.